What is going on, guys? Ryan here, back again with another video. Alright, so this right here is PlayStation 5 related. Obviously, we're going to talk about next gen. Now, we're not going to talk about specifications. We kind of already talked about that, and me personally, I kind of like stepped away. There's a lot of specifications that leak every single week, so it's kind of pointless for me to talk about every single one. Alright, it's kind of like I would say a dying topic if you think about it. I understand the excitement for consoles, sure, but let's be real here. We gotta really stop putting a little too much faith in half these specifications and just look at them for fun. A lot of people don't necessarily look at specifications for fun. They look at it from other means, so it is what it is. Now, according to this information, the PlayStation 5 release date could actually be delayed. Now, this is going off of the industry's stats on actual games being developed for this generation, for these gen consoles, the PS4 and Xbox One, and of course for next gen platforms. Now, let's take a look at everything. First of all, let's look at the situation. Back in 2013, Sony announced the PlayStation 4 in its own special event. We got the actual specifications and the controller reveal. Going into, the year, which was a year later, we actually got the hardware. Now, going off of that track record, and with the fact that rumors and everything keeps speeding up, and Sony even going on the record with Microsoft, has even announced that yes, the PS5s and the Xbox 2 are coming. A lot of people believed, and myself included, believed that we're going to get the reveal this year, and 2020 is going to be the actual hardware release. Now, if it doesn't happen in 2020, then that kind of makes me wonder what exactly else we're going to have. Now, remember, Sony did say, I'm sorry, not even Sony, Sean Layton did say it was an old article he said. It was an old statement that he stated, but he stated that more is to come. Stay tuned. So could he possibly have more games that are going to be made or are being made and are saving it for this generation for the PS4 to end the PS4? Or possibly not. Now we know for a fact they're not going to be at E3. Now, this is the big talking point here. This has been the biggest talking point since 2018, since the end of 2018. Sony is not going to E3. Now, they have more games that are going to be strictly for PlayStation 4, and the same thing can be said about Xbox with the Xbox One, right? But if they have more games for this current generation, then it would be kind of weird for them to not be at E3. So I'm thinking something else is going on here. Now, if you go back to more statements from Sean Layton, he stated that they were looking for more unique ways to get information to you, the viewer. And more of us have sat back and wondered, what exactly could he possibly mean? Now, me personally, I saw this on YouTube. Okay, this is not real at all, but it's kind of an interesting concept for the PlayStation 5 in terms of how they can get notifications to you and actual game updates. So I'm actually going to put that on screen right now. I want you to see this. This is actually really cool. I think this is a crazy concept that they actually might copy. If you notice when the game launches up, or when the platform launches up, you notice how your games and everything of that nature are advertised first, and then when you press up, your friends and everything pop up. I'm thinking Sony might go this route with their next gen platform, where you'll have better ways of seeing, or I'm sorry, more interesting ways for them to show you up and coming games and announcements, especially stuff like, important stuff like updates. And I know a lot of us don't like when we get these messages when we play on our PS4 and it says, oh, sorry, you can't play the game yet because you have to update the hardware. I'm pretty sure Sony's going to take notes of this and actually improve the PlayStation 5 based off of that. One thing that is most certainly going to get improved is the whole Facebook integration. That's been a main staple with the PlayStation 4, and it was very well received. Cross-game chat is definitely going to stay, right? As far as more other features, well, this actual, the video that I just showed you, actually showed a thing called Echo. Now, I forgot about this. This is a long time ago. I don't forget exactly what that was, but I gotta go back and read that. But that was actually an interesting point. I actually forgot. I had a whole summary for you guys actually written down. I don't lost it, but that was another cool feature that they possibly could have for PS5. Now, let's get into the delay. According to this information, the PS5 delay, it could happen and we could have a longer wait. The report goes as follows. The PS5 and Xbox 2 release dates could be a long time coming based on surprising new industry stats. In a new GDC published State of the Industry report, thousands of developers were asked a range of questions about their work. In addition to weekly working hours and gender representation, the report examines next-gen gaming development. Specifically, the report reveals that only 2% of developers are working on games exclusively for unannounced platforms, while 16% of studios are developing for both existing and next-gen platforms. Now that the current crop of consoles is aging nicely, we thought it would be interesting to ask respondents whether whether or not they're developing their next game for any upcoming unannounced platforms. The report reads, predictably, very few, under 100 or less than 2% of respondents said their next game is being designed exclusively for an unannounced platform. So that's what they had to say on the actual report. Now, again, this people are going. This is one of those things that you gotta look at. If this is actually true and they're actually making more games for current gen, this is actually not something that's not new. We've seen this for the PlayStation 3. Remember, PlayStation 3 still continued to get support even with the PlayStation 4 still hitting the market. If I remember correctly, Ubisoft even dropped Assassin's Creed Rogue exclusively for the PlayStation 3 and the Xbox 360 when the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One launched. So plenty of games are still going to come, but again, as far as those games being like AAA budget exclusives courtesy of Sony or maybe even Microsoft, that's another question. It could possibly just be referring to third-party games. And if they're going to strictly third-party games, now was also too, he said 16%. It said it would be for what is it? Sorry, let me go back here. 16% of the studios are developing for both platforms. So if they're developing for both platforms, then possibly it's going to be, you know, like what we saw with you know, what was it for, what's that game? Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. Remember how you had one on the Wii U and one on the Switch? Maybe they'll do that route until they actually get situated with the new consoles and familiar with the hardware, and then they'll push the new hardware even further. That's probably what they're going to do to help you convert to PlayStation 5 and the new Xbox, you know, Anaconda systems. So I think that's what they're going to do as well. And again, it makes sense. Now, also, another cool thing to the note about this, all right? Sony stated, and I quote, PS5 games are the new focus for them when it comes to first party devs. That's their new focus. And we kind of figured that this is not really a no-brainer for us. We kind of figured this has been their focus. Many of their games that are going to launch this year are first party. You know, the main ones that are being talked about are mostly in-house first party studios courtesy of them. Okay? Anthem is another game that's launching, but I'm not sure how Anthem's really going to turn out. A lot of people are speaking negative about it. I won't know until I actually play the actual beta, which I think is going to be available on the 1st. So I won't be able to play that till then. But you know, people are speaking a little weird about Anthem. Now, again, if Anthem does flop, which I highly doubt Anthem will flop, but you know, if Anthem doesn't live up to supposedly the expectations, then we will find out, you know, accordingly. But let's go back to here with Sony's commitment to first-party studios. Now, this is courtesy of Daniel Ahmad, an analyst with Nico Partners. He says that Sony's in-house development teams are downing tools on PS4 titles in order to get to grips with and produce titles using the new PlayStation 5 development kits. For those of you that did not know, yes, development kits also went out, so they are making games for the PlayStation 5. As far as what exactly is in those development kits, again, that's this topic of speculation. And that's one thing a lot of you guys got to take into question as well, is that it's all speculation. Nothing has legit been confirmed by Sony or Microsoft. This is all speculation. So nobody should be at each other's throats, and all of you should be treating it as it is, speculation. And I quote, PS5 dev kits are out there, and I've heard positive things about it, stated Ahmad in a post on Reset Era before tempering expectations of any official announcements but I wouldn't expect any information in the immediate future. That's what he had to say. Now, again, obviously he has to keep tight-lipped about it. He's seen it. He knows what they're working on, but he can't say nothing. Now, again, if these platforms are going to deliver, let's hope for the best, right? Let's hope for the best. Let's hope for certain limitations that we kind of got now are gone permanently. You know, one of the biggest limitations for consoles has been 30 frames per second, and the fact that we cannot get to 60 frames per second on every single platform. Now, some people pick and choose games. They go, well, it's better for this. That actually should not be the argument. The argument should be, remember, these are consoles, right? Consoles, and these studios claim that consoles are evolving and doing things that they should be doing. Okay, when we see these statements, nine times out of 10, these statements right here make a lot of PC guys laugh, because you're not really doing anything except pushing the art of the game and the graphical comparison. You're not really doing much. It's all about pushing the performance. When you push the performance, then you get the actual results that people want. All right. So I think it makes more sense for us to be excited for hardware to be more efficient when it comes to performance, rather than overhype something like graphics. 4K, guys, 4K should be fine, right? We should be okay with 4K on consoles. The fact that we're even at 4K with gaming consoles is definitely an exceptional thing right there. It really is. Remember the times when people thought we couldn't even get to 1080p with consoles? Remember that? So consoles clearly are doing things right. What you're going to see with the PS5 and most likely Xbox Scarlet systems is the fact they're going to master 4K. They'll probably still use techniques to get certain things to look even more presentable and push more detail. Rapid pack math, we'll probably see more of that in the future, maybe more heavily implemented at this point, since that is something that Sony really wants to look into. And of course, you'll see more of that nature. Checkerboard rendering probably will most likely still exist with next gen consoles, as that's going to push detail and colors. So I think that's what they're still going to do. But 4K is fine. 4K 60, I think, should be something that they should be aiming for, and hopefully they will achieve that with next gen. But yeah, that's my thoughts on the situation. If you guys enjoyed the video, you guys already know what to do. I will see you guys on my next video. You guys be blessed, be easy, and I'll let you guys later. All right, deuces.